Action.
All right. Hey, Chop Talk viewers. This is Ezra Scott here with Neil Stinson and Richard Garrett behind the camera at James McLain's Kosho School of Karate. We're going to show you demonstrate an escape from a front headlock and an escape from a guillotine choke today. Just to remind everybody of who we are, I'm a knee dan under James McLain. Neil is a shodan. And I'm also a blue belt under Eric Silver in Rickson Gracie style of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, which is what qualifies me to teach the guillotine choke escape. The front headlock is Mr. McLain's escape from a front headlock, and the guillotine choke escape is the orthodox Rickson Gracie way of doing that. So first we're going to talk about the escape from the front headlock. And front headlock is just basically what the way that a front headlock usually happens is somebody is level. We're going to do front headlock here. This one here. Yeah. So let's turn around. The front headlock usually happens because I've gotten too low. All right, and the inexperienced guy is just going to grab you like this, and who knows what he's trying to do. Usually he's just trying to control you. The way that Mr. McLain teaches us to get out of this, I'm going to turn again here, is I'm going to move towards the side that he's choking. I'm going to take my wrist and drive all of his genitals into his pubic bone, his pelvic bone, excuse me, and then I'm going to reach up, place my thumb right on his trachea, and extend like this. Okay? So the important details with this are the direction that you're moving first. So the guy's got you in the headlock. I'll just do it in the air first. He's got me in the headlock. I'm going to move towards the side that he's got my head, just a little bit to make space for my strike. I'm going to strike really hard, driving this bone or the palm of my hand into his pelvic bone. And then immediately, really fast, come up over the top, put my thumb right at the base of Mr. Stinson's sternum here. And then I'm just going to extend. I'm not going to walk towards him. I'm just going to extend. So he's got me. I move this way. I strike and immediately bring the hand up and then extend. Now I'm not going to walk, because what I want to do is actually push him away from me. So I stay where I'm at and he goes that way. So when we actually do it full speed, it's going to look more like this. So he gets me in front headlock. Okay, 1, 2, like that. All right, and that works, I mean, like a charm on a front headlock. The thing that's awesome about this self-defense is how fast it is. It's so fast. I mean, I'm out of this, which is, I mean, potentially an awful place to be. You can get kneed in the face here. You can get thrown, and I'm just out of it in seconds. The second self-defense, the one against the guillotine choke, what's happening with this is we've come in contact with somebody who's more sophisticated. Maybe they've been watching the UFC and they know how to do the guillotine choke or some version of it. Luckily, most people don't really know how to do the choke very well. And on most of those people, Mr. McLain's self-defense would actually probably work quite well and would get you out of the hold faster. But with a guy that really knows how to do the guillotine choke, you need to know how to relieve the pressure on your neck. So first I'm just going to show just real quickly basically how to do the guillotine choke. If Mr. Stinson comes in low on me to grab my body here, I'm going to stop him here. This hand comes underneath. I make a fist and grab like this on my fist. All right. I move my hips forward, and then I just bring my arm up. Okay, a lot of people try to just pick the guy up, pick the guy up, and they don't even really have the choke, because it's a guillotine. And if you picture a guillotine, the guy's head is on the board through the little hole, and the blade goes chomp and goes through his head. So the thing that makes that work so effectively is that the blade is falling and the head and the neck are stuck here. If the guy's body could move, the guillotine wouldn't work as well. All right? So it's the same thing with this, it's just reversed. So I get my arm around, I get my hips there, push my elbows down, and then I just pull this up into his trachea. Now this choke, it's really dangerous. You smash your trachea, smash your windpipe, but it'll also make a guy pass out. And the trick to getting a guy to pass out with it is basically the tighter you have this. Just like in well, not just like, but similar to in the rear naked choke, how you have your elbow, where you're smashing the guy's arteries this way. The same thing, if I've got this against his carotid artery on this side, when I start to do it, it just makes the choke a lot tighter and makes him pass out a lot faster. And it can go on real quick, very fast. You're getting hurt, So it's important to understand how to take the pressure off, because in this choke, let's turn this way. Sorry, we're turning around a lot here, trying to give you the best view. When Mr. Stinson goes to do this choke, so go kind of slow. If I move this way, the way that I was showing you at first to do the self-defense, I'm actually moving into the choke. I'm putting more pressure on my throat. So what I want to do is move this way and immediately put my arm over his back and hug his back as far over as I can get it. And I'm going to push my shoulder into him a little bit. At the same time as I do this, I clamp like a C pointed down on his knee. This is really important because, as you can see right now, Mr. Stinson is going to reach up and knee me in the face. It's a great situation for him to do that from. Especially if I'm not hugged here. I mean, he can just destroy me with knees from that position. So I'm going to move away from the side that he's choking on. Immediately clamp down on his back, clamp down on his knee, and put my weight on his knee and down on his back. Now, as hard as Mr. Stinson tries, go ahead. He can't knee me, and he can't raise up to choke me. And he can try as hard as he wants, it won't work. So now, I'm just going to walk and put my foot behind his foot, not all the way around here, just behind his foot, where my knee's behind his knee. Still clamped down here, and I'm just going to push my knee in and push him over with my head. All right, we're going to go down slow because we're in the concrete here. It's important, you see how I put my hands out like that? It's really important because as we go down, he's still hanging on to me, keep hanging on. That's uncomfortable. I can get my head smashed into the concrete. So it's really important to put my hands down here. If he's real big and strong from here, he can also move me around, jerk on my neck, and try to push me into the concrete. Okay? So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to stabilize. Then I'm going to take this hand, I'm going to grab his trap, and I'm just going to push my wrist into his throat. All right, and that's going to cause him to let go, at which point I'm either in what we call side control, or, in a self-defense situation, I may just, stand up. All right? So we'll go through the details of that one more time because it's kind of complicated, and it's really important with all of these pure leverage jiu-jitsu techniques, because that's really, the thing that makes Gracie Jiu-Jitsu what it is it's the techniques are based solely on leverage, and it allows, even though that's not what you're seeing here, a much smaller person to do these techniques to a much larger person. So it's really important that you get all the details, because you really can't make up for lack of the details in this technique with size or strength. It has to be done properly. So we get in a situation, for whatever reason, I'm too low. Mr. Stinson starts to guillotine choke me. I move away from the side that he's on and clamp down on his back, pushing my shoulder in. I C-grip his knee and push down on his knee to keep him from using Hizugari knee strikes to the face. My foot goes behind his foot, not all the way around because I can hurt my knee doing that, but just right behind. And I'm going to push my shoulder into his chest and my knee into the back of his knee. He starts to go down. I immediately stabilize. All right, then I'm just going to put my hand on his trap and push my elbow to the ground, just like a paper cutter. So I'm stabilizing my hand here, and then just pushing my elbow to the ground and crushing his esophagus the same way we're doing in the guillotine choke. Right. So that is Mr. McLain's escape from a front headlock, which really, I mean, it could also be used, especially against an inexperienced guillotine choker. It's just not as foolproof against that choke if the guy knows what he's doing. But it's awesome for a front headlock. There's just no way to describe the amount of pain there is from getting the bone of the wrist smashed into the pelvic bone there. Is just really uncomfortable. Unless your attacker has a cup on or something. But yeah, so that's it. That's the escape from a front headlock, escape from a guillotine choke. And thanks for having us on Chop Talk.